Over 400 years ago, a lone swordsman walked the roads of Japan carrying not just two blades, but a philosophy that would outlast every kingdom that rose and fell after him. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. 61 duels, 61 victories. Yet his greatest conquest was not over another man, it was over his own mind. The secret that made him undefeated was not hidden in technique or talent. It was built in silence, forged in discipline, and grounded in something deeper than steel. In his writings known as Chino no Maki, the Book of Earth, he revealed the true foundation of an unshakable life. While the world remembers Musashi for his sword, few understand that his real weapon was structure. He believed that every human being is like a building, and that no tower, no matter how beautiful, can stand without solid ground beneath it. The reason most people crumble at the first sign of stress is not weakness. It is that their foundation was never built to endure. Anxiety becomes their normal state. Every criticism becomes a collapse. Every change feels like an earthquake. But Musashi's discovery was simple. Strength is not something you add, it is something you anchor. The samurai lived in a world of constant uncertainty. Death could appear with the sunrise. Yet in that chaos, Musashi stood calm, deliberate, impossible to shake. Why? Because his peace did not depend on the world outside him. It was built inward on what he called the principle of earth: stability, grounding, and truth. He wrote that most warriors die for the same reason most people fail in life: weak foundation, unstable principles, confused rhythm, a lack of understanding of what truly supports their own spirit. The same law applies today. Without inner structure, you mistake movement for progress. You build ambition on fear and call it drive. You chase success while running from silence. Musashi saw through all of it. He wrote that to live a grounded life, one must first embody the qualities of the earth itself. Steady, centered, consistent. Earth doesn't rush to prove itself. It does not bend to mood. It holds, it supports, it remains. To be like earth is not to become rigid or cold. It is to cultivate presence so stable that chaos cannot find an opening. Picture two people facing the same crisis. Both lose their jobs overnight. One spirals into panic, grasping for approval, consumed by fear. The other breathes, observes, plans, moves with calm precision. The difference is not luck, it's structure. One built identity on position and praise. The other built it on principles and skill. When the ground shook, only one had roots deep enough to hold. Musashi described 4 pillars that create this unshakable foundation. The first is personal mastery. He saw the sword not as a weapon, but as a mirror, a tool to understand oneself. Each swing, each failure, each repetition revealed more about the wielder than the technique itself. Long before modern psychology spoke of growth mindset, Musashi was already living it. He believed skill was not born, it was trained. The ordinary man says, "I can't do this." The warrior says, "I can't do this yet." That small difference in language divides mediocrity from mastery. When you approach every struggle as a forge, not a flaw, you turn failure into momentum. Real confidence is not arrogance. It's evidence collected through effort. The second pillar is the balance of 2 worlds. Musashi broke centuries of tradition when he fought with 2 swords, one long, one short. People thought it was madness. How could one fight effectively with both hands divided? But what Musashi revealed was genius. Life is always dual. To master one side, you must also hold the other. He called it Niten Ichi Ryu, the school of 2 heavens. To live fully, you must be strong yet gentle, logical yet intuitive, grounded yet adaptable. Most people live in fragments, either too soft to stand firm or too hard to stay open. Musashi saw that power comes from unity. A leader must know when to yield. A lover must know when to stand tall. A thinker must know when to feel. When both swords move as one, you become whole. The third pillar is rhythm, Hyoshi. The pulse of life beats through everything. Every breath, every conversation, every victory or failure moves to a rhythm. Musashi discovered that whoever controls rhythm controls outcome. In battle, he struck in the gap between his opponent's breaths, catching them between inhale and exhale, between thought and instinct. He didn't fight faster, he fought in time. In life, the same principle applies. Those who lose their rhythm are tossed between urgency and apathy. Those who master it move through chaos with fluidity. They do not rush when pressured or stall when uncertain. They hold a tempo that steadies the world around them. Inner rhythm is not speed, it's alignment. When you move in rhythm, you lead the dance of circumstance itself. The fourth pillar is foundation, earth as the root of mastery. Musashi taught that without earth, all other elements, water, fire, wind, and void, become dangerous. Fire without grounding burns uncontrolled. Wind without weight becomes noise. Void without form becomes emptiness. Earth gives shape to them all. You can learn all the strategies of business, all the techniques of art, all the psychology of persuasion, but if you are not grounded, success will only expose your cracks. The same wind that lifts you will later tear you apart. Musashi wrote that the warrior who builds on sand may rise quickly, but when the storm comes, he falls forever. The one who builds on earth endures. Modern neuroscience now proves what Musashi lived intuitively. The human brain thrives on structure and stable anchors. When those anchors vanish, stress floods the system and the prefrontal cortex, the seat of wisdom and reason, shuts down. Harvard studies call this cognitive disintegration. Musashi called it death. When the mind has no foundation, emotion takes command. But when anchored in internal principles, the brain adapts faster, recovers quicker, and remains calm under duress. Stanford's research on elite performers mirrors the same conclusion. Those who maintain inner standards, regardless of outer change, achieve consistent results no matter the storm. Modern science is simply rediscovering the samurai mind. Musashi designed a practical path to build these foundations, 3 living phases that anyone can follow. The first is self-knowledge as precision. Just as a swordsman must know every inch of his blade, you must know yourself, your habits, your reactions, your fears, your triggers. Write them, observe them, measure your own rhythm. Awareness is your first defense. The second is anchoring. Define 3 unbreakable principles, values that guide your every decision. Protect them like sacred ground. Then create daily rituals that bring you back to center. 10 minutes of silence, a slow walk, controlled breathing. Stillness sharpens steel. The third is testing. Expose yourself to pressure intentionally. Step into uncertainty. Observe whether your foundation holds or shakes. Learn, adjust, strengthen. Real mastery is not built in peace, it's revealed in conflict. These principles are not limited to combat. They apply everywhere. The same grounding that steadied Musashi's blade guided his art, his calligraphy, his sculpture. His rhythm in battle became rhythm in brushstroke. His calm under threat became his stillness in creation. The man who could end a life with a single cut could also carve harmony from silence. Because once your foundation is solid, everything you touch bears the mark of your stability. Your relationships become rooted, your focus deepens, your creativity flows without fear. You stop reacting, you start responding. How many times have you built on sand? How many dreams collapsed under their own weight because the ground beneath was hollow? The problem is not that you aimed too high, it's that you anchored too shallow. Musashi's message is not about avoiding storms. It's about becoming the stone that remains when storms pass. When others break, you bend. When others panic, you breathe. When others crumble, you remain whole. The goal is not invulnerability, it is unshakability. To live by the earth is to embody the eternal rhythm beneath all things. It's not about control. It's about alignment. You are not the wind. You are the mountain that shapes it. You are not the fire. You are the hearth that holds it. The world will never stop shifting. The only question is whether you will shift with it or stand within it. The secret was never hidden. It's been waiting in the soil of your own mind, waiting to be built upon, waiting to be lived. Musashi discovered this centuries ago. You can discover it now. The path is simple but not easy. Build your foundation. Hold your rhythm. Balance your worlds. Master yourself before you master anything else. The storms will come. Let them. The ground beneath you will hold. Train your mind. Master yourself. Walk the dojo path.